All right. This is going to get started in a couple minutes. This is going to be Flat Earth Falsehoods, Series 1. Series 1 is Lunar Lies. And this is episode 1 of Series 1. The moon is a flat disk. I'm going to be presenting you with evidence to counteract the claim that the moon is a flat disk. You can watch YouTube videos. You can find YouTube videos that say the moon is a flat disk. It's pretty easy. I'm not going to play any of them for you. Suffice to say, people make the claim that the Earth is flat, and from there they say that the moon is flat and the sun is flat. Well, this episode is meant to show that the moon is not a flat disk and to provide evidence for the claim that the moon is in fact a spheroid. So to start, I'd like to point out that the moon appears circular from every point of view. No matter where you are on Earth, when you look at the moon, it appears as a circle. Now, the only three-dimensional shape, or even two-dimensional shape, that can do this is a sphere. I have here a beer coaster. This beer coaster is a circle. However, it only looks like a circle when you're looking at it straight on. As it goes over here, oh, actually, so the camera is going to correct for that. The further away you get from looking at it dead on, the less it looks like a circle. If it's a circle and you're looking at it at an angle, it will look like an ellipse. As soon as you're not looking at it at a 90-degree angle, it looks like an ellipse. The moon, however, always looks like a circle. No matter what angle you're looking at it from, no matter where it is in the sky, no matter where you are, it looks like a circle. This is a lacrosse ball, and I don't know if you can see, it has the Under Armour logo on it there. Notice how the Under Armour logo looks. Notice how as the ball rotates, the Under Armour logo stops looking like the circle that it is and starts looking skewed like an ellipse. Notice how the light on the lacrosse ball changes the shadow that you see here written in the Under Armour logo. Okay. So that's the first point. The moon appears circular from every point of view, and the only object that can do that is a sphere. Now, in addition to this, I have photographic evidence. Here we go. So this is a picture of the moon. It's a rather high-res picture of the moon. Notice the uneven shadow, the uneven curve of the shadow across it. The fact that it's uneven indicates that it is a textured surface that has elevation. You can see, for example, there are lit parts here and dark parts here, and then lit parts here again. The fact that the shadow is uneven, the fact that the shadow, even this curved line, it's not a straight line, there's gaps in it, that also indicates that this is a more three-dimensional object than a flat disk. And there's other photos that we can see this in. Now, next, look at the appearance of craters near the edge and near the center. Here's a good example. The craters near the edge are ellipses. They're no longer circles, just like the logo on the lacrosse ball. As you get more towards the center of the moon, as far as what's facing you, the craters are much more circular in appearance. And this is pretty uniform across the face of the moon. The further you get away from the center of the moon, the more ellipsoid the craters appear. And this isn't simply a fact of the craters near the edge are different shapes than the craters in the center, because we can actually look at the moon over the course of its phases and see the shape of individual craters changing over time. So you can see the craters down at the bottom here. You can see the craters at the bottom here changing shape, not simply because of the light and shadow, but also because of the angle that they face you at. Next, we can look at the illumination of ridges along the terminator line. What I mean by that is we look at the terminator line, the line where the light meets the shadow on the face of the moon, and we can see that there are, like I mentioned, it's an uneven shadow. There are ridges that are lit. This indicates, just like it indicates on the Earth, that the sunlight is hitting these ridges because they are higher up than the area around them. And that's what you expect when you have raised and lowered surfaces on a curved surface like a sphere, and you have the sunlight shining on that sphere. As you reach the edges, as you reach the terminator line, points that are higher up on the surface will still be hit by sunlight, and the points that are lower down, lower in elevation, will not be hit by the sunlight. Finally, we have lunar libration. Lunar libration is a fancy term that means the wobbling and the shifting and the tilting of the moon throughout the course of its orbits around the Earth. In this picture, this is a time lapse of several days worth. We can see not only is the moon tilting such that the bottom of the moon is tilting more towards us and the top of the moon is tilting away from us. Not only is that happening, but there is also a very slight left to right wobble. Now, if the moon were a flat disk, as soon as it tilts, it will no longer look like a circle, and the moon still looks like a circle. But also, when it tilts, there's nothing more that we could see by it tilting. And you can tell that we see more by it tilting by the very fact, for example, at the location of this particular crater versus the edge of the moon, the distance between this crater and the edge of the moon increases. And it's not because the moon is suddenly getting much closer to us. It's because the moon is rotating. The moon is tilting. Again, so you can see along the edges, there's suddenly more of the moon that you can see, particularly this dark patch. You can see that there's more visible beyond this dark patch in the later picture than in the earlier picture. So these are a few pieces of evidence that you can examine for yourself. You can take pictures of the moon for yourself, and it will indicate to you that the moon can't be a flat disk. The moon, for all that we can tell, it is a spheroid object in the sky. All right. This is a short video. These are meant to be short videos. They're going to deal with single topics so that there's no confusion about what we're talking about. The Earth is not flat and the moon is not flat. We've shown that the moon is a sphere. Our next episode, hopefully next Wednesday, will be on whether the moon is transparent or not. Anthony Riley often makes this claim that you can see through the moon, or the unlit portions of the moon aren't really there. Uh, and many people have claimed to be able to see stars and other things through the moon. These claims are also false. And so that will be on our next episode of Flat Earth Falsehoods, Series 1, Lunar Lies. Thank you for visiting. I hope this video was enlightening. I will include some links to these images in the description below afterwards.